welcome back to the LEC Vitality Turn It Around on the third day of our Super Week. And with that victory, they grabbed the last and final spot in the spring playoffs. Perkz, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on making playoffs in the LEC. You got us worried, I have to say. How did you address the first two games you had?
I mean, honestly, it was a bit stressful losing the first one because it was something we were comfortable playing. And I think with that comp, we have to have a lot of discipline and play well to win the game. Unfortunately, when we make mistakes, it's going to be really hard to come back. And I think the yesterday draft against G2 was just literally unwinnable.
Okay.
Like we all went really up in CS and lane, but we had to make like better team plays in order to snowball that game. And like yesterday, once we fell behind, there was nothing we can do against their comp, like Ezreal, Karma, Corki against Hecarim and Tamkench. Mm-hmm. Like we have just no engage. Maybe if we had like Yumi or Rakan or something that can go in, right, we would have a bit better chance of winning. But yeah, that felt kind of bad though, because it put more stress on playoffs and also removed our chances of top 4. But then we just kind of like reset, and did some nice coping, we just lose because of draft. So just have a better draft today and we will win. And yeah, that was kind of it.
Well, seems you have the answers and leads on how to improve that on maybe for summer, but there's also something between Vitality and Super Weeks that we'll have to follow up on in summer maybe. You were talking about the fact that on the first day, it didn't go as expected, and I want to follow up on an interview that your coach, Mephisto, had with L'Equipe recently, where he said that even though Vitality has a lot of strength coming from each side of the map, you're still looking for an identity. Could you elaborate on that maybe, and the difficulties you had into finding your way with this team?
I mean, I think that is somewhat true. I feel like we've been trying out so many different comps and trying to play kind of away from the meta, then a little bit meta, and then once we got some wins with meta, we tried to play again a little bit away from the meta, and we just had to come to the realization that we are not nearly as good of a team right now. So to be able to pull everything off, and yeah, most of our wins are all of our wins are basically with stuff that's being played everywhere else in the world as well. So just like not overthinking stuff.
All right.
And drafting simpler is something that maybe we should like work on more, right? Which is also like, yeah, a bit of my problem as well. I like to spice up things sometimes, and yeah,
Well, this is also what can make you the clutch player we know you can be, Perkz. Focusing on playoffs a bit more, you have 3 weeks to get everything sorted for Vitality. Your first opponent will be Excel. Maybe one of the most improved team, I want to say, given the expectations that they had at the beginning of the season. Any words on these opponents and how you think they will do in best of 5?
I'm really looking forward to playoffs because I've never been in the lower bracket from the beginning, basically. So there is always like I'm kind of, I guess, I like to like beat the odds, break the records. So maybe this is like all part of a plan to put us in the lower bracket and try to climb up from there. It's also kind of like the ex-G2 gauntlet, where like I'm probably going to be facing one of my ex-teammates in each of the rounds, starting off with Mickey. He got me good in the last best of one we played, but I'm kind of known to get a playoffs buff, right? So I'm really looking forward to playoffs. It's gonna be very fun, and I think Excel is not like a weak opponent. I don't think any team is actually a weak opponent, but yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the break, the 1 week break, reset, and then have 2 more weeks of preparing for playoffs. It's going to be very exciting.
Perfect. Everything to get you guys back on tracks. And I really like the fact that we have the all 2019 G2 squad in playoffs this time around. Last question for you, Perkz. You got the Kia player of the game here. And I know that you had a challenge and things to prove maybe coming back from Cloud9 and staying in NA for a year. How far are you to getting back at your top form, do you think, after this split?
It's funny. I'm just trying to like figure out as well what I need to play for my team to do the best, right? I think once I get it down, it's going to be really, really smooth sailing. As of right now, I actually do feel like I am usually playing pretty good, at least like the first 15 minutes of the game usually. And then if something goes wrong with us, then maybe I collapse a bit as well. So also learning how to be able to, I guess, not make those mistakes where we fall behind will also basically affect my understanding of the game and how to make better decisions, which is kind of something that we as a unit struggle with, and then I also struggle with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll be looking forward to the Perkz playoff buff. We know that it's usually coming. And well, Perkz, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on making playoffs once again. Enjoy the break also, and we'll see you in 3 weeks for playoffs.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome. And Chucks, back to you for postgame.